Hi, fans of high-quality entertainment. Yesterday, on my Canadian Studmuffin channel, I was talking about some CDs that I've ordered that are going to be coming in the next few weeks. More Donovan, more Beach Boys, a couple of a Ween CD and a DVD/CD. And I also ordered and got it yesterday in the mail, Beastie Boys Licensed to Ill. Yo. Anyway, I have a little bit of a short history with Beastie Boys that I'm going to talk about. And I just wanted to mention again how in the last few months I've become such a big fan of the artist Donovan. Ever since I've gotten these two CDs by him, Mellow Yellow and Sunshine Superman, I have played them every night. So I think 5 nights in a row I've been playing these two albums, starting with this and then the follow-up, Mellow Yellow. And I just can't get enough Donovan, man. And like I said, I think I have at least 4 CDs coming in the next few weeks. So I don't know why I ignored him all these years. But I also maybe think, back in, say, the 70s, 80s, I might not have appreciated his music like I do now that I'm old. But just one more thing about Donovan. His voice, like his vocals, he doesn't have the greatest range or anything, but he's got a nice tone to his voice when he sings. But like I said, not a lot of range to it. But it's just something about his voice that's, dare I say, magical. At least, the 60s. I know some people were saying his 70s output, 80s or whatever, isn't as strong. But what I've sampled on Spotify, I really did like. So, one of the albums from the early 70s is called Open Road, which I ordered. So, yeah, looking forward to more Donovan. Now, back to Beastie Boys. When this came out, well, first of all, the first thing I saw by Beastie Boys, I might have heard about them before, but I had no interest in, the hip-hop or rap back then in the mid-'80s. But when they released their Fight for Your Right to Party video, I loved that. It was pretty heavy rock with, rapping in it. And so when this came out, I bought it on vinyl. And, I loved Fight for Your Right. I guess it's just called Fight for Your Right. And everything else, I think I played it maybe once or maybe 2 or 3 times. But it just wasn't my bag, man. I just didn't connect with the other songs. So I didn't have this in my collection for more than, a few months. But after that, I sometimes, on Patreon, I do song and album reactions. I don't think I've done any album reactions for Beastie Boys, but I've done over, I think, 150 album reactions on there. But I've done song reactions to songs that I'd never heard before. And I just thought they're so creative, they're funny, and the music. I love the music too. And so, yeah, I thought it was time. And I also love the song Sabotage, one of my all-time favorite 80s songs. And so I thought, it's time to get back into the Beastie Boys. And so I bought this. I played it last night for the first time, hearing most of these songs for the first time since, 1986. And I totally enjoyed it. My favorites were, besides Fight for Your Right, She's Crafty. And I do remember that song a little bit, hearing it in the 80s. But like I said, I didn't really care for it back then. No Sleep Till Brooklyn, Brass Monkey. Yeah, I totally enjoyed the whole album. I think what turned me off in the 80s was, I guess I didn't totally connect with their humor and their silliness, especially with the rapping. I thought it was kind of, very juvenile. Of course it is. Some of the rhymes didn't even make sense. But that's Beastie Boys for you, right? With me, I get excited about an artist, right? And so I start buying all of their albums. And sometimes I go overboard with it. So I'm going to take my time and just have this in my collection for a few weeks. And then I think I'm going to definitely get Check Your Head, Ill Communication. I'm not going to, like I said, just one at a time, every few weeks. So either Ill Communication or Check Your Head. And there's also Paul's Boutique. That's a good question for my viewers. If you're a fan of Beastie Boys, which of those 3 albums do you think I should get next? I'm kind of leaning towards Ill Communication because Sabotage is on that, and I love that song so much. But yeah, Beastie Boys, I've had a new respect for, in the past few years, and so this is the CD I got. One of the older versions. I don't know if there's like a remastered version of this, but it sounded great. And not much in the way of packaging. Just like that. And that's it. So thank you for watching. Let me know what anything more about Donovan and the Beastie Boys, or Beastie Boys. It's not the Beastie Boys. I learned that recently. And if I remember, I'll put the Donovan albums that I've ordered here somewhere. And if you're a Donovan fan, let me know what else you think I should order in the near future. So thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day. Not a great day. Bye.